I remember my freshman year, Darius Griffin was, had a presence. He had a definite understanding of the environment we were in as student athletes on campus, the rituals of how you work out, how you play, what's going on. He was a senior, he was a veteran. I was a freshman. So, like most young kids, you probably didn't say it, but you paid attention. And so you learned a lot about, mannerisms. And so the one thing I do remember vividly about Darius is when he played hard. There was no days off. And when he played, he was trying to beat you and try to beat you good. So his competitive nature was something that I think helped me a lot, to say this is how it's done on the college level. We practice as hard as we play. And then Rich Brunson was right along with him. So that was definitely helpful to me in terms of seeing an upperclassman, how you should carry yourself. The other thing I do remember about Darius was, I remember after our first exhibition game, and we were freshmen, I was clueless, what the environment's gonna be like. I think we played an exhibition, or we called them red and white games or scarlet and white games, so the fans could get an introduction of the team for that year. But after the game, you would walk up the racked steps, and alums and friends would always be on the concourse. Darius talked to everybody. And he was like the president. He shook every hand, kissed every baby. I'll never forget that. But that was a lesson. It's something that I appreciated, seeing that. Because that was something that, you should do. And I continue to do that to this day. What I remember about him playing against him was I would always give him a step of room. And I would dare him to shoot jump shots because I knew if I pressed up on him, he'd go by me like nobody's business. So there was not just speed, but quickness. I think it's rare that you see both. You may see, a guy that can run 100 meters, 5 really fast, but quick twitch. He kind of had both. And I tell you, that was good to play against because that did nothing but help me. We may have opened up the season fairly Dickinson, and in our second game or third game, we played Princeton. We lost on the road. Low scoring game, Pete Carrol with the Princeton offense. I remember, chasing. You couldn't miss an assignment, but we lost that game. And I remember staying up till like 3 or 4 in the morning as a freshman. And then we had to turn around and play UCLA, who was like number 2 or something in America, and we were opening up the Meadowlands. And we ended up, going in there probably big underdogs. But we were prepared, went in there and played, competed. There were a couple big plays, but one was a loose ball in a deep corner that rolled probably the length of the floor. And you saw Darius Griffin track this ball down. And I don't know if he was running to chase it down with and against Rocket Rod Foster, but there was no question who was going to get to that ball first. And if I recall, that energized the crowd and our team because it was a big time effort play that just galvanized us, and we ended up winning that game and having a pretty good season.